Does the thought of your finances ever cause a knot in your stomach or make your heart race? This persistent worry is known as financial anxiety, and it's a valid and widespread experience. In this video, we'll explore what financial anxiety is, the science of how it affects your brain and body, and most importantly, 7 practical, science-backed techniques you can use starting today to manage money stress and regain control. Understanding financial anxiety. So, what exactly is financial anxiety? It is more than just an occasional worry. It is a persistent, often overwhelming fear and unease related to your financial situation. This can manifest as constant worry about your financial stability, a fear of making money-related mistakes, or even physical symptoms like headaches, digestive issues, and insomnia when you think about your finances. Let's look at what's happening in your brain and body. When your brain perceives a threat into our survival-oriented brains, a lack of resources is a significant threat. It triggers the fight or flight response. Your amygdala, the brain's alarm system, becomes highly activated, flooding your body with stress hormones like cortisol. While useful for our ancestors, this response is less helpful when the threat is a stack of bills. This chronic activation of the stress response can have a tangible impact on your physical and mental health. Elevated cortisol levels can weaken the immune system, contribute to high blood pressure, and increase the risk of heart disease. Mentally, financial stress directly impacts your cognitive function. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational thinking, planning, and decision-making, can become impaired. This impairment can create a vicious cycle. The stress makes it harder to make clear financial decisions, which can worsen your financial situation and, in turn, increase your stress. And you are far from alone in this. Recent studies show that finances are the #1 source of stress for the majority of adults. A 2025 report found that nearly 7 in 10 individuals report feelings of depression and anxiety related to money. This stress affects people across all income levels. A common myth is that only those with low incomes experience financial anxiety. While financial hardship is a major contributor, even high earners can experience significant anxiety tied to a fear of losing what they have or the pressure to maintain a certain lifestyle. Another misconception is that you can simply stop worrying. For many, financial anxiety is deeply rooted, and overcoming it requires targeted strategies, actionable solutions, and strategies. Now that we have a foundational understanding of financial anxiety, let's move into the most important part, what you can do about it. Here are 7 science-backed techniques to help you manage it effectively. Technique 1, the financial check-in, a mindful approach to your money. What it is, instead of avoiding your finances, this technique involves scheduling a regular, structured time to review your financial situation in a calm and non-judgmental manner. The scientific principle. This technique is rooted in principles of exposure therapy and mindfulness. By intentionally and repeatedly engaging with the source of your anxiety in a controlled way, you can gradually reduce the fear response. Mindfulness helps you observe your financial situation without judgment, reducing emotional reactivity. How to do it: schedule it. Set aside 20 to 30 minutes each week in your calendar. Treat this like an important appointment. Pick a time when you are not rushed or already stressed. Create a calming environment. Before you begin, do something to calm your nervous system. This could be 5 minutes of deep breathing, listening to a calming piece of music, or doing a few simple stretches. Gather your information. Have your bank statements, credit card bills, and any other relevant financial documents ready. Using a budgeting app can streamline this process. Review without judgment. Look at your income, expenses, and debts. The goal for this session is not to fix everything at once, but simply to be aware of where you stand. Notice any feelings that come up, acknowledge them, and let them pass without criticism. Focus on one small action. Identify one small, positive action you can take. This could be as simple as canceling an unused subscription, planning your meals for the next 3 days to save on groceries, or transferring a small amount into your savings account. Why it works. The financial check-in reduces the fear of the unknown. By regularly and calmly looking at your finances, you demystify them and reduce their power to cause you anxiety. Focusing on a single small action helps to build a sense of agency and control, counteracting feelings of helplessness. Tips for beginners. If looking at everything at once is too overwhelming, start smaller. In your first session, just look at your main checking account balance. The next week, review your last week of spending. Gradually increase the scope of your check-in as you feel more comfortable. Technique 2, the worry-postponement technique. What it is. This is a cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT technique, where you consciously set aside a specific, limited time each day to worry about your finances. The scientific principle. This technique works by breaking the cycle of constant rumination. By containing your worries to a specific time, you train your brain to be less preoccupied with them throughout the day, which can reduce your overall level of anxiety. How to do it? Schedule a worry time. Choose a 15 to 20-minute period each day that will be your dedicated worry time. It is best not to do this right before bed, as it can interfere with sleep. Acknowledge and postpone. When a financial worry pops into your head during the day, acknowledge it. You might silently say to yourself, "I see this worry," and then make a conscious decision to postpone it. I will think about this during my scheduled worry time at 4 p.m. Engage fully in your worry time. During your scheduled time, allow yourself to think about all your financial worries. It can be helpful to write them down in a notebook. Be specific. Instead of "I'm worried about money," write down, "I am worried I won't have enough to cover the car repair bill this month." End your worry. Time. When the time is up, make a conscious decision to stop. Close your notebook and move on to a different, engaging activity. Why it works. This technique gives you a sense of control over your worries. Instead of your worries controlling you, you are controlling when and where you engage with them. You may find that by the time you get to your worry time, some of the worries no longer seem as urgent or overwhelming. Tips for beginners. If you find it hard to stop worrying at the end of your session, use a bridging activity. This could be a short walk outside, listening to an upbeat song, or calling a friend to shift your focus completely. Technique 3, the values-based budgeting approach. What it is. This is a method of budgeting that aligns your spending with your core values. Instead of focusing solely on restriction, it focuses on what you want to prioritize in your life. The scientific principle. This technique draws on principles from positive psychology. By connecting your financial decisions to your deeply held values, you infuse them with meaning and purpose. This can shift your mindset from one of scarcity and fear to one of intentionality and fulfillment. How to do it? Identify your core values. What is most important to you in life? Is it security, family, learning, health, or creativity? Take some time to write down your top 3 to 5 values. Analyze your current spending. Look at where your money is currently going. Does your spending align with your values? For example, if you value health, are you investing in nutritious food and activities that support your well-being? Create a values-based budget. Allocate your money in a way that reflects your values. This might mean cutting back on things that don't align with your values, like impulse online shopping, to free up money for the things that do, like saving for a family vacation. Frame financial goals in terms of your values. Instead of a goal like, "I need to save more money," reframe it as, "I am building my savings to create a stable and secure future for my family." This reframing can be highly motivating. Why it works. This approach can make budgeting feel less like a chore and more like an act of self-care and life design. It empowers you to make conscious choices with your money that are in line with what truly matters to you, which can reduce feelings of deprivation and anxiety. Tips for beginners. Don't try to overhaul your entire budget at once. Start by identifying one value and finding one way to align your spending with it. For example, if you value learning, you could allocate a small amount each month to buying books or taking an online course. Technique 4, the 2-column cognitive restructuring exercise. What it is, this is another powerful CBT technique that helps you to identify and challenge your anxious thoughts about money. The scientific principle. This technique is based on the core CBT idea that our thoughts influence our feelings. By changing your unhelpful, automatic negative thoughts, you can change your emotional response. Cognitive restructuring helps you to develop more balanced and realistic ways of thinking. How to do it is draw two columns on a piece of paper. In the first column, labeled Anxious Thought, write down the specific worry that is causing you distress. For example, I'll never get out of debt, or I made a mistake with my investments, I'm going to lose everything. In the second column, labeled Balanced Response, challenge that thought with a more realistic and compassionate one. Ask yourself, is this thought 100% true? What is a more likely outcome? What evidence do I have against this thought? For I'll never get out of debt, a balanced response could be, getting out of debt will take time and a clear plan, but it is possible. I can focus on one payment at a time. Why it works. This exercise helps you to break the habit of catastrophic thinking. It allows you to see that your anxious thoughts are just thoughts, not necessarily facts. By consistently challenging these thoughts, you can start to develop a more compassionate and realistic inner dialogue, reducing the intensity of your anxiety. Tips for beginners. If you have trouble coming up with a balanced thought, ask yourself, what would I say to a dear friend who was having this thought? We are often much kinder to others than we are to ourselves. Technique 5. The body scan, meditation for financial stress. What it is. This is a mindfulness practice that involves bringing awareness to different parts of your body and noticing any physical sensations without judgment. The scientific principle. Financial anxiety often manifests as physical symptoms, like muscle tension in the neck and shoulders, a racing heart, or a knot in the stomach. The body scan helps to reduce the physiological symptoms of anxiety by activating the parasympathetic nervous system, our body's rest and digest system. How to do it. Find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down. Close your eyes and take a few slow, deep breaths. Bring your attention to the toes of your left foot. Notice any sensations you feel, tingling, warmth, pressure, without judging them as good or bad. Slowly move your attention up your body, bringing awareness to your legs, your torso, your arms, and your head, part by part. If you notice any tension, simply acknowledge it. Don't try to force it to go away. Instead, imagine your breath flowing into that area, bringing a sense of softness and release with each exhale. Continue for 10 to 15 minutes. Why it works. This practice helps you reconnect with your body and notice the physical manifestations of your anxiety. By bringing a gentle, non-judgmental awareness to these sensations, you can often reduce their intensity. It also helps to ground you in the present moment, rather than being caught up in worries about the past or future. Tips for beginners. There are many free guided body scan meditations available online. Using a guided meditation can be very helpful when you're first starting out, as it keeps you focused. Technique 6. The financial self-compassion practice. What it is. This involves treating yourself with the same kindness, care, and understanding you would offer a good friend who is struggling with their finances. The scientific principle, self-compassion, has been shown by researchers like Dr. Kristen Neff to be a powerful tool for reducing anxiety and depression. It helps to counteract the self-criticism and shame that often accompany financial difficulties. How to do it. Acknowledge your struggle with mindfulness. In a moment of financial stress, pause and say to yourself, this is a moment of suffering, or this is really hard right now. This simple acknowledgement validates your feelings. Practice common humanity. Remind yourself that you are not alone in your struggles. Say something like, many people experience financial difficulties. It's a part of the human experience. Offer yourself kindness. Ask yourself, what do I need to hear right now? And offer yourself words of comfort and support. You might place a hand over your heart and say, may I be kind to myself in this moment. Why it works. Financial struggles can take a major toll on your self-esteem. Self-compassion helps to buffer against these negative feelings and builds the emotional resilience needed to face financial challenges constructively. Tips for beginners. If speaking kindly to yourself feels unnatural, try writing a compassionate letter to yourself as if you were writing to a dear friend who is going through the same situation. Technique 7. The information diet. What it is. This involves consciously limiting your exposure to financial news and social media that triggers your anxiety. The scientific principle, constant exposure to sensationalized or negative financial news can keep your brain in a state of high alert, constantly activating your stress response. By reducing your intake of this information, you can help to calm your nervous system. How to do it: identify your triggers. Pay attention to which sources of information tend to increase your financial anxiety. Is it a particular news channel, a specific website, or certain social media accounts? Set clear boundaries. This could mean unsubscribing from certain newsletters, unfollowing accounts, or limiting your consumption of financial news to just 15 minutes a day and never in the hour before bed. Be intentional about your information intake. When you do need financial information, seek out reliable, balanced sources rather than passively consuming a constant stream of anxiety-provoking headlines. Why it works. This technique helps you create a more peaceful and less anxiety-provoking information environment. It allows you to stay informed without being constantly overwhelmed by things that are largely outside of your control. Tips for beginners. Start by taking a 24-hour break from all non-essential financial news and social media. Notice how you feel. This can give you the motivation to set longer-term boundaries. Do's and don'ts. As you begin to implement these strategies, it's helpful to keep some key do's and don'ts in mind. Do's: do talk about it. Share your feelings with a trusted friend, family member, or a financial therapist. Reducing shame is a powerful step. Do educate yourself. Gaining financial literacy from reputable sources can empower you and reduce the fear of the unknown. Do celebrate small wins. Acknowledge and appreciate every step you take in the right direction, no matter how small. Do automate your finances where possible. Setting up automatic bill payments and savings transfers can reduce the mental load and decision fatigue. Do focus on what you can control. You cannot control the economy or interest rates, but you can control your spending and saving habits. Don'ts. Don't compare your financial situation to others, especially what you see on social media. Comparison is a primary driver of financial anxiety. Don't make impulsive financial decisions when you're feeling highly anxious or emotional. Give yourself a 24-hour cooling-off period before any major, non-emergency purchase. Don't engage in avoidance behaviors like letting bills pile up unopened. This almost always increases anxiety in the long run. Don't use unhealthy coping mechanisms like overspending or substance use to deal with your anxiety. Don't hesitate to seek professional help, both for your finances and your mental health. Information on professional treatment. While the techniques we've discussed can be incredibly helpful, sometimes professional support is the most effective path forward. For financial anxiety, this can come in two forms: financial and mental health support. A financial counselor or planner can help you create a practical, actionable plan to manage your money, which can alleviate a significant amount of stress. Look for professionals who take an educational and non-judgmental approach. On the mental health side, several therapeutic approaches have been shown to be effective for anxiety. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, helps you to identify and change the negative thought patterns and behaviors that contribute to your anxiety. A therapist can guide you through exercises like the two-column technique in a more structured way. Financial therapy is a growing specialty that combines financial coaching with therapeutic techniques to address the emotional and psychological aspects of money. In some cases, a doctor or psychiatrist may discuss the option of medication to help manage the symptoms of anxiety, especially if they are severe. Common informational classes of medications include SSRIs, which are a type of antidepressant that can also be very effective for anxiety. Precautions and potential dangers. It is critical to understand the risks of leaving financial anxiety unaddressed. Chronic stress has a well-documented negative impact on your physical health, contributing to issues like high blood pressure, heart disease, a weakened immune system, and digestive problems. Mentally, it significantly increases your risk of developing clinical depression and other anxiety disorders. Bonus tip: the physical foundation for mental resilience. Your physical health provides the foundation for your mental resilience. When your body is in a state of balance, you are better equipped to handle psychological stressors, including financial anxiety. The role of diet. What you eat directly impacts your brain function and mood. A diet high in processed foods, sugar, and unhealthy fats can contribute to inflammation and mood swings. Conversely, a diet rich in whole foods like fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and complex carbohydrates can help stabilize your blood sugar and provide the nutrients your brain needs. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish and flax seeds, are particularly important for brain health. Magnesium, found in leafy greens and nuts, helps regulate the nervous system. The power of physical activity. Exercise is one of the most powerful anti-anxiety tools available. Regular physical activity helps to metabolize excess stress hormones like cortisol. It also releases endorphins, which are natural mood elevators. You don't need to run a marathon. Even a brisk 20 to 30-minute walk can have a significant positive effect. The importance of sleep. Financial anxiety and poor sleep often exist in a vicious cycle. Worry can keep you awake, and sleep deprivation makes you more susceptible to anxiety. Prioritize good sleep hygiene. Stick to a consistent sleep schedule, create a relaxing bedtime routine, and make your bedroom a dark, cool, and quiet environment. How to make it a sustainable habit. We've covered a lot, and the key to lasting change is integrating these strategies into your life in a sustainable way. Start small. Do not try to do everything at once. Choose one technique that resonates with you the most and commit to practicing it for a week. Once you feel comfortable, you can add another. Anchor to existing routines. This is also known as habit stacking. Link a new habit to something you already do consistently. For example, you could do your 2-column exercise while you have your morning coffee, or practice your body scan meditation right after you brush your teeth at night. Track your progress. Keep a simple journal to note which strategies you're using and how you're feeling. This isn't about judgment, it's about gathering data. This can help you see your progress over time and identify what works best for you. Find social support. Share your goals with a supportive friend or family member. Having someone to check in with can help you stay motivated and feel less isolated on your journey. Focus on progress, not perfection. There will be days when you feel anxious about money, and that's okay. The goal is not to eliminate all financial anxiety, but to develop the tools and resilience to manage it effectively when it arises. Be compassionate with yourself on difficult days. Conclusion. Financial anxiety is a heavy burden, but it is one you can learn to manage and lighten. The goal is not to be perfect with your finances, but to be intentional. It's about taking small, consistent steps to build a healthier relationship with both your money and your mind. We've talked about the science behind financial anxiety, and we've gone through 7 practical techniques to help you manage it, from mindful check-ins to cognitive restructuring. Healing is possible. You have the power to change your relationship with money and to cultivate a life with less anxiety and more peace of mind. Be patient and kind to yourself, and know that every small step you take is a victory. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more evidence-based wellness tips. And if you know someone who might be struggling with financial anxiety, please share this video with them. We would love to hear from you in the comments below. Which of these techniques will you try first? Your journey and your insights could be incredibly helpful to others in this community. Thank you for taking this time for yourself today. Disclaimer. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The information we're sharing is designed to support, not replace, the relationship that exists between you and your healthcare provider.